Hello and welcome back everyone. In this video today we are going to learn ER diagram. So ER diagram means entity relationship diagram. Okay, so what is entity type, entity relationship we will walk through, and in the context of software engineering the impact of entity type, entity relationship we will go through and break it down step by step. Yes, this video definitely will be theoretical and later part of this video will be practical. So let's get the ball rolling. Okay, ER diagram means entity relationship diagram. I have told you earlier. Okay, so topic is entity and entity relationship. Okay, so entity, what is entity? Suppose if you want to work with software, like you want to create or build a software like student management software or university management software like this, and it could be another things like e-commerce related, or it's different on business. Okay, so suppose you want to build a software like a student management software, okay, or university management. So there you have to work with the student and teachers or staffs, and it could be many more things, but primary things would be you want to stored all the information, I mean activity of a student, like student attendance, student result, student basic information, like teacher basic information, teacher's course record, everything you need to is stored inside the database. Okay, so for this context of database, I mean project, I mean university management project, and there is two principal, I mean main entity, like student entity and teacher entity. Okay, so this student entity fully represent all the student of that particular institute, not single student, all the student represent that in I mean student entity, and all the teachers same represent teachers entity. Okay, so I hope entity you can understand. So entity represent by, in the context of ER diagram, entity represent by rectangle symbol. Okay, you can see and here entity definitely have some attribute like student ID, first name, last name, date of birth, NID, and below you can see it's a demo table. Every individual row represent an object, I mean student, it represent a single student. So every single student definitely have some attribute. Okay, I will talk about later. Okay, so there is mainly two types of entity, I mean strong entity and weak entity. Okay, so strong entity represent by single rectangle and weak entity represent by double rectangle here. Okay, so weak entity is nothing without strong entity. Okay, so here actually I put only 5 attribute of student, but student has some lot of information, lot of attribute, like student permanent address, present address, and his father's name, mother's name I didn't mention here. Okay, so why actually come this strong entity and weak entity concept? Okay, so if all the attribute of that particular student, if you stored inside a table, I mean suppose imagine you stored all the information, I mean these two information also here, imagine, and along with another some information like father's name, mother's name, all the things. So if you manage all the information, or if you store all the information in a single table, then your database will be redundant, I mean your data will be redundant and your database will be heavy. Okay, redundant by for redundant data. For that's why we need to segregate, I mean result purpose we need to another entity, attendance purpose we need to another entity. Okay, so that's why we need to normalize database. Okay, so normalize, by providing normalization technique, then we can segregate this, we can create this weak entity. Okay, I will make video about normalization later. Okay, so here strong entity and weak entity you can understand. If I give an instance like the complex sentence, I mean in context of English. Okay, so complex sentence has two part. One is primary, I mean principal clause, another one is subordinate clause. So principal clause you can imagine it's a strong entity, and weak subordinate clause you can treat weak entity. And subordinate clause is nothing without principal, I mean you can't express yourself or that opinion without I mean principal clause. Like this, weak entity is nothing without strong entity. Okay, so here you can see the relationship between these two, I mean student and result. So every single row is an object, you know very well, and here it's an weak entity, and it's a object of this entity, and this two is a these two entity of these two object of this entity. Okay, so here this student ID, I mean 1001 and 1001, this 1001 here comes here, and this student ID is represent this object, I mean, and this and value, I mean 1002 also represent this one. Okay, so student ID, okay, this student ID is the responsible to create the relationship between student and result. Okay, so same thing goes for student and teacher and teacher course. So here teacher's ID is responsible to create the relationship between teacher and teacher's course. Okay, so now I am going to show the things how you can actually create ER diagram using online tools. Okay, so let's see. So now I am going to Google search bar, and now I am going to type DB diagram. Okay, so I use these tools to create ER diagram. Okay, so ER diagram is actually a demo of the database. Okay, so here they actually give some demo I mean entity. Okay, I don't need this one, and yes, okay, this one I also don't need. Okay, so instead of user I can write students. Okay, here would be first name and type will be Barker. Okay, last name type will be Barker, and here it will be date of birth. Okay, so this is student, and I just cut this one to here, and it would be result, and it would be stu student ID. Okay, and it would be semester, and semester will be definitely Barker. Okay, and here it would be CGPA or GPA, no problem, and it would be decimal as this column holds fractional value. Okay, so now it's time to create the relationship between these two. So here I just copy this one, and this student ID is relation with result student ID. Okay, so now you can see here it's create a relationship between these two, and it's a I mean linking. Okay, so now you can create another thing, another entity like attendance. Okay, so now attendance. Okay, so attendance definitely have attribute this student attribute, and attendance date time. Okay, when student comes, and that's why we need this attribute. I mean, so the data type will be date time. Okay, so I don't need this one, only I keep these two. And now it's time to create the relationship between these two, student ID and okay. So now you can see here it's create another link of this between these two entity. Okay, so I hope you understand how can you actually create ER diagram using these tools. Okay, it's time to show the practical scenario of database. Okay, so we have already this video already have 8 minutes has been crossed. So now I use command line interface to show the all the demo, I mean the real example. Okay, I use XAMPP as I use Windows, so you can use XAMPP, or if you use Linux, then you have to install this MySQL or any relationship database, no problem. Okay, so now I am going to log in MySQL, user root and password nothing. So yeah, I successfully logged it in. So now it's a MySQL command line interface. Okay, so there is no database I have selected, and I haven't selected. Okay, and here I need to show all the database. Okay, here it's an existing database. Okay, I need to create a database that's name will be university. Okay, so select create database, and database would be UNIVERSITY university. Okay, created. So now I use it. So if I run it, show database, so now you can see here university. Okay, so I use UNIVERSITY university database. Now you can see instead of none, university. Okay, so SYSTEM system CLS. Okay, so clear the command line interface. Okay, so now I am going to show how many table. Actually here show tables, nothing. So now I am going to create table. Okay, so create table, table table will be student, student, students, definitely students. Okay, so now id would be integer and auto increment and primary key. Okay, and sorry, first name would be like worker, and length will be 50 and not null. I mean you have to give the value whenever you put information, whenever you try to insert information. So last name will be last name and date of birth. It would be date and not null. Okay, close. So if I hit enter, then I can see, okay, successfully one shot. Okay, so show tables. Now you can see student tables. Okay, so system create. So I put some MySQL command over here for making this video quickly. Okay, already 11 minutes has gone, so I need to create another table, that is result. Okay, so now if I run it here, so then I can see show tables. Sorry. So now I can see student and result tables. If I show is there any data inside this table, so select all from students, nothing. Similar goes for result. Okay, sorry, results, results. Okay, nothing, set nothing. Okay, so now I am going to populate some student record providing this command. So now if I run it, then I can see this record has been inserted inside this. So here insert command into the student, first name, last name, these are the attribute, and yes, and these are the information, I mean value has been populated. Okay, so now if I select a student here, student, so now I can see this table. So now another is here, it's okay, it's result information. So now SYS. Okay, clear the command line interface. So now if I hit enter, then I can see this record also has been populated. So now if I run this command, I mean result, so now I can see this one. So here is student and here is result. Okay, so individual things that we can see. So now we can able to see this individual. So if you want to show this information along with this, so how can you, that time we have to use join query. Okay, quickly I want to show select all from, sorry, I want to select this, I mean first column. Okay, so select S, okay, select all, sorry, from student students, select all from students. Okay, and join, join with result, results, results on and stay. Actually student, I want to give some aliases, okay, as aliases. It actually, S means student, okay. This student actually represent by, now we can know about student by this name, okay. And result, sorry, and result also R, okay. So now on result dot id, sorry, student dot id, as dot id is sults, result dot students, student id, okay. So now if I select all the student dot first name and result dot what, semester. If I hit enter, then I can see student result, okay. So result, it would, sorry, here it would be R, as here I rename this. Instead of this, I aliases this name only with R, okay. So R is the representation of result table, okay. So now if I hit enter, then I can see the result, okay. So if I need more information, so student table dot last name, okay, and what I need, as dot date of birth, okay, and student semester, result dot semester, and result dot what, result dot semester CGPA, okay. So now if I hit enter, then I can see student, all the student information along with, actually we got the information from these two table by providing this command, I mean join command, okay. Leave it, I just want to show you. So that's all that I wanted to say in this video today. This video already 16 minutes, okay. Thank you very much for listening to me, and if you have any doubt, feel free to comment below. I will be happy to give you reply. And see you in the next video with another episode with another context. Till then, goodbye.